Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zamboni. I'm an herbalist and astrologer. I am here coming at you from Guardia de Osa, the Ocean Forest Eco Lodge in Costa Rica. Thank you so much for being here. Let's talk about the astrology of the week ahead. So, of course, thank you. Big shout out to all the patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting, especially in a sustained long-term kind of way. This is super helpful. Thank you to everybody who sends tips. Thanks to everybody who goes to thealchemistkitchen.com and uses the discount code ZamboniFunk. That's helpful to me as well. I really appreciate all y'all who support in all of the different ways. Y'all really make this whole thing possible, and thank you for doing that. Appreciate you. So then, let's talk about the astrology of the week. So we are, so we get to see some stuff moving a little bit this week. We got, so one of the main features of this week is that we see Mercury moving into Gemini. So for a little while now, for a couple of weeks, we've been having all the stuff in Taurus, and that's been sort of square to Saturn in Aquarius, right? And so we're gonna get some more of that this week. We've got the Sun in Taurus this week, who's been like conjunct Uranus briefly, and then is now going to make a square to Saturn in Aquarius. And so this is still happening, right? So all of this sort of like Saturn being like a little much for people, or Saturn, you know, telling you no, or you know, to me, I've been thinking about Taurus sort of like wants to chill and wants to you know, like enjoy the silence, or like the I don't know, like it wants to sort of like be still and easy and go easy about stuff, especially since Venus is here in Taurus as well. So and Venus rules Taurus, and so Venus in Taurus is very much about like sort of sensual pleasure and like feeling good in a body kind of way. And so the Sun in Taurus wants to get into that. But Saturn in Aquarius is gonna, you know, be kind of like looming a little bit. There's a sense of like, have you taken care of all of your responsibilities? Have you made sure that all your I's are crossed and T's dotted? Have you, you know, just like all these kinds of things. Like there's something here about responsibility that wants to show up. So you know, this has been really good for innovation around systems management. And so if you are in a place where you're ready to like try something new, or you're ready to sort of get a little bit iconoclastic with the with things that have been you know, the systems that are already in place, or any of this kind of stuff, then now can be a really good time to sort of you know, like break that sort of stuff up and work toward maybe a more efficient system, or a system that maybe shoots at a goal that that your current system doesn't even think is a real thing, or something like this. You know what I mean? We can see some innovation going on, or some inventive attitudes being involved here. So this is the Sun in Taurus square to Saturn in Aquarius, and so this has been going on with Mercury already, that happened last week, the Venus that happened last week as well, and so so this dynamic sort of continues, right? This is the main theme of 2021 and 22, is this sort of like stuff in Taurus versus stuff in Aquarius, right? But this week, we also get to see Mercury moving into Gemini. So Mercury's been in Taurus for a little while, now moves into Gemini. So Mercury rules Gemini. This is a very helpful movement for Mercury. This is something that feels, oh, you know, like Mercury moving into Gemini is a kind of empowerment around communications exercises, around transportation, or any of these kinds of things. We've got some, you know, when it comes to the Mercury stuff, we've got a kind of ability to do stuff. Gemini is so chatty, you know. There's something here that feels a little buzzy, that feels a little like, you know, we can think about the social butterfly, where we're sort of like, you know, going from here to over there and back and forth and back, and sort of like, you know, flirting or gossiping, or just like always having something to say or someone to say it to, right? One of my teachers, who is very brilliant, her name is Kelly Surtees, she mentioned pollinators when it came to Gemini, and I can totally relate. I can vouch for that. A little while ago, a few weeks ago, maybe it was in March or something like this, we had Mars on the North Node in Gemini. And so Mars is, like fighty or conflict, anger, tension, something like this. North Node is more, and Gemini is buzzy with the pollinators, right? And so when that happened, then I got attacked by a swarm of bees. And so like angry bees happened under Mars North Node in Gemini, right? So here we can totally see the pollinators showing up. And so we can think about pollination as something, especially like if we're in a mode where ideas need inventing or innovation, right? Ideas need updating of some sort, then we can see how the cross-pollination might be a good idea here. Being in conversation with someone else who also has ideas about this subject, we can definitely see some kind of teamwork that wants to happen here. One of the nice things about Mercury moving into Gemini is Gemini makes a trine aspect to Aquarius, and so Mercury moving into Gemini puts Mercury into a nicer position relative to Saturn. So Saturn, who has been sort of like no to planets in Taurus, in Gemini there's much more of a constructive arrangement for these things. Saturn is, from this position, Saturn is able to bring something helpful to the table, maybe be a little bit constructive, or again, this is like around systems management, right? And so I wonder if there might be some kind of nice communicative measure that that Saturn or your systems management perspective would really get into. Mercury in Gemini. So Mercury in Gemini this time is, so we're going to go into a Mercury retrograde in Gemini. Mercury is going to station retrograde at the end of Gemini, so we're not quite to that point yet. But one of the things that we might see here is a need to do stuff another time, or there might be, like it feels really nice this week. And so I wonder if there's something here that might, like it feels like 2 steps forward, right? But then Mercury retrograde is coming, so there might be a step back that needs to be done here as well. So, like whatever goes on this week, whatever sort of like, updates take place, we might still have some kind of need for, like just leave a little bit of wiggle room in there. You know what I mean? There's some wiggling might go on. We're in Gemini, we've got things that are square to Neptune and Pisces, and that Mercury station is going to take place square to Neptune and Pisces, which is confusing. Mercury is going to be with the North Node in Gemini, so this is also potentially confusing. This is also maybe like doing a little too much from time to time. And so, while there is something that is very exciting here, there's also something that is potentially confusing, bewildering. There's the angry swarm is totally possible here. It's less likely to be so angry without Mars involved, but the North Node is plenty angry, by itself, and then add Mercury here, and we might have some kind of miscommunication of some sort, or something like this, right? Getting a little overeager or overexcited. But the truth is that it's very exciting. This is a pretty exciting time for the Mercury things. If you got teams to build, or you got transportation to arrange, or any of these kinds of things, this is going to be a good time to sort of put these things together and get some stuff in motion, especially your longer term projects, because we have Saturn here involved as well. And so if we're looking at Saturn, then we're looking at the potential for delays, right? But we are also looking at a really nice opportunity for long-term systems management that is really potentially productive as we move forward. So thank y'all so much for being with me today. I really appreciate you. That is that's what I have for you. There's much more going on. I'm going to try to hit you with a little bit of writing throughout the week. If you want to get more in depth about how to use this astrology and make a better life for yourself or for your family or for your community, for your nation, for your world, then this is what I'm working toward on Patreon. There's a sort of like making my life better makes the world better because I am a part of the earth as well. And so there's a lot of this sort of stuff that we're doing on Patreon. So check me out there. Thank y'all so much for being here. I look forward to seeing y'all next time. Bye.